Welcome into the Thunder Basketball Universe presented by COOP Ale Works. If you're watching on YouTube and this background looks a little bit familiar, it's because we're back in Memphis about 2.5, 3 weeks later. We are back here, but this time we are joined by a very special guest, a new friend of the pod, Mr. Jalen Williams, J-Dub himself. First of all, Jalen, thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time. And secondly, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, it's cool to be back. I think this is my second time.
That's
Maybe
right.
I did. Yeah, I did it.
That's
yeah,
right.
Rookie one. Yeah.
Intro press conference.
Yeah,
day.
that was my first day in Oklahoma.
I can't
actually,
believe you remember anything about that day.
I just remember the podcast because it was me, Jay, Will, and Chet on it.
That's
Wow.
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Had a
Reading
Santa
such
Clara
great memories.
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. It's all coming back to me now. It's all coming back.
Jalen, I gotta ask you because I saw you did something recently online where you were petitioning for Chet Holmgren to get a tattoo, but I didn't see. I don't know if there was any follow up, but you can't say something like that and then not propose what he should get tattooed. So I got to put you on the spot. Chet's been around. You've gotten to know him some. He's in your draft class. What does Chet need to get tattooed?
Everybody was saying that he should do my face, but I should have a mask on. That's what made me bring it up. I think he wants to get tatted. So.
Are you talking about like your mask
Yeah,
that you had to wear?
my mask
Mask
era.
era.
Yeah.
Your mask era.
That was like the big kind of push for it for even get one. But I think he wants to get one in general. He's kind of been tiptoeing around it, and then obviously his surgery and stuff. So we'll see in the summer what he's on.
You're pretty creative. What would you pitch? If you had a say, if he listened to you.
On a serious note, something that he's okay with being there for the rest of his life.
Fair.
So and I don't know what's really important to him in regards to that, but something I would say if it's your first one, get something that's meaningful.
What was your first one?
Mine was a Kobe one on
Okay.
on my right leg.
Yeah.
And then I got this Bible verse for my second one. But yeah, something meaningful that give that one some time.
Nice.
That's
After that,
sweet.
you can mess up.
Yeah.
So then this kind of begs the question. So you have teammates who have tattoos already. I'm thinking of a guy like Mann.
Yeah.
He's got some pretty visible tattoos. What would you suggest for his next? If you now you can have some input, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Maybe a thunder tattoo. I don't know.
Ooh, thunder tattoo.
That's not bad.
I was thinking
don't know if
just
that's
the word.
biased.
I was just thinking the word tricky Trey. That seems like a little
That's
bit
actually-
of a nickname
yeah,
that's
that's
coming
pretty good.
up for him. So
Because
yeah.
you've got
That's actually
Dub,
not
right?
bad. I like that.
You've
Yeah,
got
I got
Dub.
J-Dub
Yeah.
on my wrist.
J-Dubs.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that the latest one you've gotten?
Yeah, actually.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, that's the most recent one. And that was a while ago. That was almost right before the draft. No, that was after. That was after the draft, yeah.
Do you have your eyes on any ideas brewing for new ink?
Yeah, I'm going to get new ink, but I'm not telling you.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fair. We'll hold
That's
off.
that's for the next time he's on the Thunder Basketball Universe podcast.
There you go.
We'll unveil.
I'll
it
look
there.
different into something.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Well, we've got so much to talk about with J-Dub, but don't go anywhere. We're going to take a short break, and we'll get into some basketball right after this.
COOP Ale Works is the proud sponsor of Thunder Basketball Universe. Brewers of the fan favorites F5 IPA and 99-calorie Ice Chest IPA. You'll find those and many more COOP beers at retailers across Oklahoma. Learn more at CoopAleWorks.com.
So the Thunder is right now halfway through the longest road trip of the season. But before they set out on that road trip, there was a pretty fun and exciting win inside of Paycom Center. J-Dub, you played a pretty big role in that one. So big, in fact, that you got splashed with some water after that game. That was pretty fun. That San Antonio game.
It was. I forgot who threw. I think Chet
and Poku
didn't pour it. It was definitely more of a throw of the water in the cup. So that was cool. But it was a cool experience. Most importantly, we got the win. That was a big win. Obviously, Shea didn't play that game, so it was good that we were kind of able to step up for him. So
Yeah, 20-point comeback victory. You guys have 7 comebacks this season where you've been down by 10 points. I know this is your first year, and so you might not have a lot to compare to in terms of other NBA teams, but just what is it about this group that's allowing that to happen?
I think we're just confident in our abilities. Obviously, you don't want to have to come back every time, but just kind of going through it, I think we just don't give up. I think we also know that just being around the NBA for however long I have been, it's a game of runs. 20 points isn't as far as, it looks on the score sheet. But, just kind of chipping away at leads is something that we're very good at.
Yeah, it's funny. When you look around the league, you could go through the box score and look at kind of like largest lead for both teams. And more often than not, both teams' largest lead might be 10 points or 12 points on any given night, any given game you look at.
Yeah,
for sure.
Things just can change so quickly. And I'm curious for you because you have been trusted in like a lot of different situations, obviously. And what's it like just being in a situation where it's crunch time? You had a pretty big bucket there in that San Antonio game. Just what's it like being a rookie, having this opportunity to like be in crunch time?
It's cool. It lets me know that the coaching staff and everybody has confidence in me to kind of go out there and play. It's also good that I'm kind of able to get these experiences now and kind of be put in that position. But I'm just kind of learning from each one, just trying to understand why we do certain things and just have fun.
You said you got to the kill spot on that little mid-range jumper. Is that kill spot been there for a decade now, or is it
been there for a while?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, just learning how to get to certain spots within our offense and, kind of how to play off of different guys to be able to get to my spots. I'm just learning how to do that.
So after that game, you guys set out on this road trip, and just going into it, we all knew it's the longest road trip of the season. Did you have any like mental preparation just to wrap your head around the fact that you're going to be, away from Paycom Center for 5 games?
Yes, I actually packed this time. I forgot what game it was, but we had to drive. I had to drive all the way back home and throw stuff in a suitcase and then come back for the road trip before this one. So I actually packed in advance, and that was good. So that was my biggest adjustment, actually bringing clothes. But other than that, just kind of rolling with it. Yeah. This is my first time doing everything, as everybody knows. So I'm just trying to learn and just have fun with it.
Yeah, that road trip before was a stretch of 3 games and 4 nights where it was like that home road back-to-back. The Thunder played at home against the Bulls, then flew straight to Houston afterwards. So that was kind of already a crazy sequence. On a personal level, you come home and you have 1 game at home after 3 games and 4 nights. You're about to have 5 on the road. Like, what do you even do in those 36, 48 hours that you had at home? And you had to prepare for the game against the Spurs.
Lay down.
Yeah.
Go to sleep.
Take a nap.
Yeah, honestly, just try not to do anything. I really try and stay off my feet is kind of the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Just kind of give your body those hours are really important, to recover. So I've been trying to really chill and take care of my body, go into the island and get treatment and stuff like that.
This is one of those stretches where you don't even have time to do laundry. You just, all right, I'll just buy clothes in the next city, huh? Yeah.
Looks like we're going to go shopping.
Yeah, that's definitely the theme. That has not been the worst part. It has been fun to go out and shop.
There you go. There you go. Seeing a bright side. But we were talking before the podcast started about how a college season at this point would have been over, right? Like the 30 or so games would have been done. How much have you learned about just the value of rest and just recovery playing so many games in a week?
I definitely have changed my diet. Like, I'm actually watching what I eat because you can really see the difference between when I'm not, well, for me at least, like when I'm not, I didn't get enough sleep that night, or if I didn't eat the right things, like I'm really starting to see a difference just because we play so many games. You have to be able to kind of bounce back quick. So just trying to make sure that stays important throughout the year.
Anything specific that you're really focused on eating these days? I'm just curious, like what works for you?
It's hard when you're on the road. Right now, like obviously we have to get our own food, but like Chipotle's been kind of like a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Just because that there's always a Chipotle around, and then it's obviously hard when you're on the road and you kind of come in late and there's only certain things open. So just trying to even bring certain snacks and stuff off the plane has been big.
Having to plan ahead a little bit about not just packing clothes, but also
like
where,
food,
where we're gonna eat.
Yeah, clothes is definitely the first step. Yeah.
Well, I think about guys, in the past we've had who are plant-based or vegan, and that ratchets up the degree of difficulty even further, just given this lifestyle. And as you said, 2 a.m. arrivals are not uncommon, and guys are hungry.
Yeah.
I won't be doing the vegan thing.
Yeah. I don't have the bandwidth for that. But it's funny to hear you say that like Chipotle is the lifesaver for you. Like, I know on our side, it's like I get excited when I know there's a cheesecake factory in our city, because like there's a cheesecake factory. They have everything. There's 37 pages of options. Get something different every time. Yeah. So it's interesting the different food combinations that we're going with here. You want to go into this Minnesota game?
Yeah, let's go to Minnesota.
Okay. So this Minnesota game, it was such a good game, and it was so fun. And obviously these 2 games back to back here, 2 playoff contention worthy teams, and you guys come out and you play hard and you give them a run for their money. And it's the fourth quarter for you in particular that really changed the game there. Just in that game overall, what did you feel from the group and how you guys were able to kind of start the game strong there?
That's definitely been one of our focal points coming into a lot of these games is our starts need to be better. Obviously, I think our second halves have been really well, really well done. But just kind of focus on our first half, and credit to the the starters of those groups. Like, I think we've been kind of setting the tone in regards to that. Not trying to be down by 10 going into the second quarter, and then obviously the second unit or whoever's come back in trying to pick that up. So I think we did a really good job, especially both those games. And then the Minnesota game, like you said, I think we were just kind of able to maintain that for the whole game. I think that also kind of helped with all the technicals and kind of the chippiness. I think that really made us lock in and kind of solve it as a team. And I think kind of happy for the Techs and kind of stuff like that. I think we kind of came together a lot more.
I was going to ask you about that because, that was a much more veteran team than you all, but you were the ones clearly that had the poise and had the composure. Is that stemming from, a group of leaders, or is that kind of baked in now to the whole group?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
I think we all kind of rely on each other, and then, kind of being there for Rich. I think, like I said, kind of brought us there a lot closer, and then kind of understanding the way the game was going and how we saw it was kind of affecting the Timberwolves in that case. We kind of wanted to back off the refs and just play. Yeah. I think we did a good job of that.
Yeah, that's so smart to just, okay, we're going to shift the other direction. We're not even going to focus on what's going on with the officiating. And when the other team is so clearly phased by it, helps you kind of play your own race.
Yeah, I think there was like 9 techs or something like that during the game, and we end up winning by 5, and so something like that. But just kind of the point differential that ended up happening.
Sure.
I think that was big for us.
Yeah, this group has had to show poise in just like a lot of different areas, whether that's like showing poise in an emotional game against Minnesota or showing poise in a crunch time game in Atlanta. Like, that's a completely different situation where you guys took control of the game in the fourth quarter, but they were kind of milking the clock in that fourth quarter. You guys had to like make free throws and just keep your composure. Just where is all this poise coming from? And keeping in mind, it's the youngest team in the NBA.
Yeah. I think we're just in so many close games, especially throughout this year. It's just been, especially when we first started, I remember like text my parents. I was like, are games usually this close like every time? Something's in overtime. Yeah. So it's cool that we had all those experiences going up that, and you kind of see us growing through. Like, we're able to, knock, like you said, knock down free throws, not turn the ball over at the end of the game, play with some type of poise towards the end. So I think, and we made a lot of big plays in the fourth quarter too.
Yeah.
I think just kind of being in those tight games almost every night is really helping us.
Well, it's also a huge sign of maturity to be able to learn and not be the team that, put your hand on the stove to learn. You were able to learn from what Minnesota was going through without you even having to go through that. And kind of similar can be said with Atlanta, where you all came in and clearly had a game plan that you were executing from the start. And then in crunch time, it seemed like every possession you guys just got what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It just kind of goes down to execution. I think our film has really helped us too. We're watching what other teams are doing and trying to understand why we're doing certain things. So, like I say, I think the biggest thing is we've been in so many close situations with different groups of guys that have been in. It's kind of like everybody's getting a taste of being out there and kind of having to adjust to what's going on in the fourth quarter. So I think we've done a really good job of that so far.
I think about you got onto the court in heavy minutes at Santa Clara, starting on defense, and then really throughout your 3 years, seemed like you had a pretty, substantial big role. Here, I think about Minnesota game, you're 6 man off the bench. In Atlanta, you're starting. Sometimes you're coming in later. Just what's that adjustment process been like for you to be able to just go ball, regardless of what your role is?
I think that's exactly it. I'm not really worried about where I'm gonna be at or how many minutes I'm gonna play. Just kind of going out there and playing hard. That takes care of a lot of stuff that's going on the court or off the court. I think the biggest thing is just making sure I got heat on my knees. So when I go in, I'm ready to play. But other than that, it's just kind of have that ready to play mentality, kind of be able to step up. You look at like guys like Zay, who's able to just come off the bench and instantly be a spark. So just trying to take after that.
I was going to ask you about that because it seems like that just be ready to play is throughout the entire team, whether it's Isaiah or Ousmane Dieng stepping in, coming in out of the G League. Just what's it like being around these guys, and how do you can you feel that from them? Is that something that you learned from them, or is it kind of just in the group, in the water?
It's in the water and kind of in the group, but I think everybody is seeing what somebody else is doing, and that kind of makes you want to play for them because it's okay, he's going out there and playing hard. I'm gonna make sure I have his back. Mm-hmm. So I think it's cool that everybody's kind of just ready to play no matter what kind of minutes we're getting. So.
I want to know about the heating pads because, NBA teams and operations, our guys, Wilson Taylor and our whole staff, they're like a pit crew. Like when
Yeah.
guys come off the floor,
Yeah.
like they've got what they need. So I'm just curious, like from your perspective, being a rookie, what's that like when you're sort of like you got everything that you need as soon as you step off the court and you're kind of well equipped in that way?
I'm still learning about how a lot of that stuff goes because like I don't like asking for stuff because it
Yeah.
feels like an inconvenience. But for them to tell me like, yeah, this is what we do. So it's been cool in that regard. And then like you said, like it's different for me to come out the game now. So trying to adjust to that.
Yeah.
Obviously college, like I don't really remember sitting on the bench at all. So I didn't think
A
about
minute or
these
You
two.
got your
things that are
water
going on.
during timeouts, and
yeah,
that was
they're
it.
asking me
Yeah.
if I need stuff. So just trying to take advantage of all that. I think they do an excellent job at that, and they're kind of always in tune with what we need.
It's interesting because there's so many timeouts in the NBA, and they're long. Every single one is this long TV timeout. And you've talked about staying locked in. Like, what are timeouts like for you when either you're in the game and you're kind of those 5 that are sitting right there, or when you're in that huddle and you're kind of, just figuring out what's going on and kind of listening?
I think we do a good job of, before a coach obviously gets in our huddle,
Yeah.
we do a good job of talking about what we see out there and kind of trying to solve the problem before they even have to obviously get in. And that way, when we get to the timeout, it's more about schemes rather than, hey, we got to play harder.
Right.
So, yeah, I think just kind of being able to, and I think it credit to how young we are, we all relate. So we're all kind of just able to say whatever we need to say to each other and kind of keep going. And everybody's really receptive to it as well. So
Cool.
Yeah, it creates a pretty awesome, sounds like a pretty good locker room
Yeah.
just in terms of camaraderie and guys being able to talk to each other and hold each other accountable.
for sure.
Well, there are a couple other things we wanted to talk to you about, and one in particular is your shooting numbers right now, because you're shooting above 50% from the field. You're third among rookies in field goal percentage, and what stands out to me is your shot selection when you're out there. It seems like you're taking the ones that are coming within the flow of the offense. Just what are you looking for when you're out there, and just what is leading to these quality looks for you?
Well, I'm out there. If somebody's close, I usually pass it.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, but on a greater note, just we have a lot of guys that can score the ball.
Yeah.
So, I don't like getting caught up in myself and kind of doing that. And I think our offense allows everybody to kind of touch the ball or kind of be a part of some type of action. So I'm just kind of, if I'm open, I know a guy's going to throw it. And then obviously vice versa, if somebody's open,
Yeah.
I'm going to throw it. So we're all kind of playing for each other. So it's obviously making it easier for me to do my thing. And then obviously with Shea and Giddey out there at the same time, it does draw a lot of attention. So I think I've been doing a good job of just trying to figure out when to cut, when they like to pass, and just be available for them as well.
Those back cuts have been
Yeah.
extremely fruitful for you. Is that something that you learned just being with this group in particular that could be successful?
Yeah, for sure. And then I think just going back to college, like, that was kind of my thing. My freshman year was just moving without the ball because I wasn't getting it, and I was kind of in there to play defense. So it's just kind of something that's always been tucked away, and then you just have to bring it back out.
Well, you're leading the team in dunks. You have 18 in, I think, 20 games that you've played. So you can bring those bragging rights back to the group if you want to.
Yeah. Who's close? J-Rob?
J-Rob's close. I think he's got 15.
Yeah, I gotta keep that going. We talked about it.
Did you?
I think forgot who asked, but we definitely brought it up, and then I got 2 that game. So
There you go.
Nice.
Dub dunks.
You said you know, and it's true. You really are only shooting when you're open. But I have noticed one shot that you're taking when you're contested, and it's usually a late clock situation. And it's that
probably
runner.
off.
It's that runner going through the lane. You're going left about 100 miles an hour, and somehow you're flicking that shot up with your right hand going across the lane like that. Where did that move come from?
I've probably been shooting that shot since I was like 8.
Wow.
Yeah, and all my coaches hate it.
Because they can't teach it.
Yeah,
They,
They also can't block it though.
Yeah,
They can't
it
block
looks
it.
it looks crazy as well. So it's kind of just one of those things where I'm like, okay, yeah, I just can't miss it when I shoot it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just something that I've been shooting for such a long time. It's kind of just one of those things. It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah, I work on it. I do it a lot.
Well, I'm sure it's been something your whole life that you could get off because people aren't necessarily expecting you to take that shot
Yeah.
going that fast at that angle.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's kind of like, oh, we actually shot it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of doing that. And then I'm selective with it now. Like it'll usually be around late clock
Yeah.
or, kind of something where the action breaks down and that's available. But yeah, it's just something kind of quick I can get to.
It seems to work for you. Yeah. And clearly you've been able to rep it for a long time since you've been shooting it since you were 8 years old. Well, before we let you go, we got to take a look about what's on tap for this group. And right now, the Thunder is in the midst of Holiday Assist, which every year is such a big part of this organization of giving back and, making an impact during the holiday season. You and the entire crew got a chance to do some stuff together. The turkey giveaway is the one that stands out in my mind. Just what has this been like for you, being able to witness this holiday assist season and actually being a chance to be a part of it?
It's been dope. Especially like in school, it was harder with like COVID and stuff. So we were all locked down. And I didn't get to go home for Christmas. So it's cool that we're able to like actually be outside. This is my first time in 2 years. I'm even kind of in the midst of everything. And then now I'm actually able to affect people's lives in a positive way and be able to go out there with the team and just be able to interact with everybody. And then this is kind of like the first normal year without COVID. Yeah. So everybody's able to kind of go outside and, get together. So it's been really cool to just kind of be around Oklahoma as well. So
15 straight years of holiday assists for the Thunder. And once we finally get back from this 5,000-mile road trip that spans over 10 days and changes time zones 4 times, I know the Thunder's going to be back kind of those first couple weeks coming off of this trip, and so plenty more community events to come. I got one more question about the road trip.
Please.
I know we still have a couple more games to go on this one, but how's it comparing so far to the 9 hour drive that you had to take from Santa Clara to Los Angeles during the COVID year?
It's not even comparable. I'll never forget the road trip though, but that was I'd never want to do that again. Actually,
how many hours was that?
It was 8. It was 8 by myself in a van.
Oh my gosh!
I'm impressed. I kept myself entertained for a good majority of that. So
doing
good
what?
for you.
I was just singing to myself. Yeah, honestly, I think I was like listening to I was doing stuff I've never done. I was listening to podcasts and just it's hard. And then it's like a straightaway. It's like just 2 lanes, so it's like nothing's really going on.
It's not the scenic route.
No, it's not. It was a pretty miserable trip, but it was fun too to be able to laugh at it.
Well, hopefully your little trip back here from Memphis back home to OKC, where again you'll have 36 hours at home.
To do some laundry.
Some laundry.
Just, wash clothes, take a nap, and go to practice.
Exactly. And you've got your teammates to keep you company on the way back this time, so that'll be awesome. But Jalen, thank you so much for the time. We know you got a nap scheduled, so
no, we're good. I'm gonna eat. My food's probably here now.
There you go. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you so much for the time, and thank you so much for watching and listening. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Thank you so much to our producer, and until next time, Thunder up, and catch you later.